want to follow up on some comments that were made earlier about this emergency that has been called here in our particular community. I had the opportunity on Saturday evening of being the member of council who was contacted because other people had other things that they were doing that evening, and some were out of town. And I had the opportunity of being called by Sue Daw, our Director of Corporate Services, to sign that declaration. And a couple of things I want to comment on. One, when I arrived, what I saw was a bunch of calm people doing their job, sitting at their various tables, doing their various responsibilities. It was most impressive to see. This was my first sort of venture into an emergency situation. I basically felt like a fifth wheel. I sat at a table minding my own business as they were doing their business, and they did it in a professional manner. The second thing that I want to comment on is that during that process, while I was there in the building, there were a number of conference calls made with yourself, Your Worship. And to this community, I think it's important to understand, and I know that Councillor Austin has alluded to it earlier, the leadership factor that happened that night. In spite of the fact that she didn't have a manual or a playbook to assist her in this emergency, our mayor did an absolutely incredible job. I could overhear the conversation that was occurring, the comments and the direction and the guidelines that she was providing staff without in any way interfering in their tasks was very commendable. And I want to publicly state that. Having the opportunity of sitting on the sidelines and watching it unfold, it was just an incredible scene of professionalism. And the other thing I wanted to comment on is some of the criticism that's come forward about, who's responsible. We need to know this kind of thing. And I want to use the put it in the context that if anyone sitting here tonight in this chamber was involved in a car accident with your family, the last thing that you want to do at the scene of that accident is to start questioning the officer about how did this happen, who's responsible, what's going to be done about it, and I want to find out who's responsible for it. If it were me, the very first thing that I would be asking is, where the hell's the ambulance, and how do I look after my family? Our job as members of council is to look after our family. That family are the residents of this community and the businesses of this community. And I can say with a great deal of pride, this council and particularly our staff have done an amazing job during a very difficult period of time. And at some point in time, as has been commented on earlier, we will find out what happened and who's responsible and who's accountable, and we will let people know that information. But at this point in time, our job is to look after our family, and quite frankly, we're doing that well.